can't believe how profound this work is. She had just done our yoga therapy immersion where you learn to work one on one. And she said, here's the thing, it's like I really see that there's ripples going out from I learn from you, and then I get to work with somebody else, and then that work impacts them, and then it impacts their family. So it's pretty incredible work that we're doing as educators because we get to see that ripple outward. I've always found it incredibly rewarding work. And then being able to be part of this committee too and working with folks at IAYT, you also get to see how it ripples out into the world on a larger basis as well as we get to connect with other people as well.
Hello, everyone. I hope everyone is doing really well today. I am Marita Greenidge, and I am the Marketing and Communications Manager at IAYT. And I'm joined today by some lovely guests from our membership schools, our member schools committee, and as always, my lovely colleague, our membership manager, Kelly Froyo. So, before we get started, as usual, we're going to begin with a centering. And I'm going to use the one that we just had from our interim board president. I thought that was pretty cool. I've done this one before, but I'm like, oh yeah, I forgot how good it was. So if you'll join me just in, getting yourself into a nice comfy position. So however feels really good for you, what feels comfortable for you. You can choose to have your eyes open or you can have them closed at this point in time, softly open if you prefer. And just take a couple deep breaths just to kind of settle yourself at this point. And I want you to start to notice what's around you. Think about 5 sounds you can hear right now. Just notice those 5 sounds. And then let's think about 5 things. Notice 5 things you can feel just around you. What can you physically feel right now? So we might have to open our eyes here for a little bit because I want you to notice 3 things you can see right now. What can you see around you? Just 3 things. And now 2 things you can smell. And then let's bring that attention to your mouth and think about anything that you can taste in your mouth here. Just simply feel your breath. And just take one more full, deep breath. And then exhale fully. And you can now open your eyes if they were closed, or open them a little bit more fully if they were just slightly opened. And welcome again. So I am really excited to be here with you today to introduce you to some of the really incredible members of our Member Schools Committee. They're going to share what they do, and they're going to tell you a little bit about a special upcoming event on February 26th, which is the first Member Schools Town Hall of 2025. So IAYT member schools are the heart of yoga therapy education. The MSC, as we like to refer to the committee, helps make sure that their voices are heard, challenges are addressed, resources are available to support schools, program directors, faculty, and staff. So today we're going to talk to some of these dedicated committee members who volunteer their time and expertise in building community and supporting best practices within yoga therapy schools. And I'll turn it over to my colleague Kelly because she's going to give you like an overview of the committee.
Thank you, Marita. Thanks for that lovely centering. I'm Kelly Froyo. I'm IAYT's membership manager, and I am also the staff liaison that gets to work with this lovely committee of volunteers. The Member Schools Committee is one of IAYT's 4 standing committees, and the committee is made up of volunteers who are school directors, educators, faculty, and staff affiliated with one of IAYT's more than 140 member schools. And their work supports schools, both IAYT accredited and non-accredited schools, through community building and fostering discussions on relevant topics across yoga therapy education. This committee is really passionate about what they do, and we're excited to introduce you to them and give you a little overview of their work. So I am going to just call on some of the people that we have here one by one. Before we dive in, let's do a quick round of introductions. I'm going to ask you to each share where you're based, which school you represent, and how about one thing you love most about being part of the yoga therapy education community? And I'm going to go to our let's go with Julie, who is the chair of the Member Schools Committee. Hi, Julie.
Hi, Kelly. Hi, Marita, and everybody else. Thank you so much. My name is Julie Shaw. I live and work in Connecticut, and I am the program coordinator and lead faculty at American Yoga Institute. I think the thing that I love most about being involved in yoga therapy education is that our product is evergreen and it's steeped in tradition. And it's something that we can always be proud of. We can always be proud of passing it on to more and more people, cohorts of students who will then spread it out. And I feel that it's something that will never go out of style and will never not be helpful. So that's what I love about it.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you, Julie. Let's hear from our vice chair, Jules. You want to introduce yourself?
Hi everyone. I'm Jules Payne. I'm based in Victoria, British Columbia. So that's on Vancouver Island in Canada, the land of the Lekwungen peoples. And I'm the director of the program at Agna Yoga. We've been around for 20 years, but doing the accredited program we're in our 11th year coming up. One of our students shared on our a group that's just for graduates and students. Last week, she said, I can't believe how profound this work is. She had just done our yoga therapy immersion where you learn to work one on one. And she said, here's the thing. It's like I really see that there's ripples going out from, I learn from you, and then I get to work with somebody else, and then that work impacts them, and then it impacts their family. So it's pretty incredible work that we're doing as educators because we get to see that ripple outward. I've always found it incredibly rewarding work. And then being able to be part of this committee too and working with folks at IAYT, you also get to see how it ripples out into the world on a larger basis, as well as we get to connect with other people as well.
And I think the world really needs those ripples right now, Jules.
Yeah,
So thank
yeah,
you. Let's hear
absolutely.
from, yeah. Dawn, do you want to give us a little intro of yourself?
Sure. My name is Dawn Lofton, and I live here in Mooresville, North Carolina. I also practice here and work with people with neuromotor diseases such as Parkinson's and MS. And what I like best about yoga therapy education is being able to share experiences and modalities, not only with students, but also with the clients that I work with. Modalities that can let them be self-empowering and resilient so they can begin to, be able to heal themselves to a point, and be able to, reduce some suffering.
Thank you, Dawn. And how about you, Christy? Tell us a bit about yourself.
Yeah, hi, my name's Christy Manuel, and I live and work in Naples, Florida. I'm director of Yoga Fit for Healthcare, and one of the things that I love most is watching the students grow and expand from beginning to end, and just their light just shines. And one of the things I get most excited about is the science and the research and how modern science is validating what yogis have known for 5,000 years. And it's just like, yes, everybody needs to do this.
Thank you, Christy.
Thank you. Following on from that, I am interested to know what inspired each of you to join the committee. And I'll start with the newer members first, which I think are Dawn and Christy.
Mhm.
Okay, cool. So I'll start with Dawn first. What inspired you to join the member schools committee, and what does this work mean to you?
Well, I've never been part of a volunteer organization, and I thought that the IAYT would be a perfect start to be able to just share ideas and be a resource and help the organization move forward and just bring a different perspective, maybe from my business side to the organization.
Okay, I appreciate that. And what about you, Christy?
Yeah, what inspired me is I really wanted to get involved with IAYT, and I feel like I'm helping advocate for our students and other yoga therapy students, and I'd like to see this field really well supported and grow. And I wanted to help out with that.
It really is important work. Thank you for all that you do, both of you. Well, I'm going to go to the persons who were part of the committee a little longer. And Jules, I'll start with you. You guys have similar names.
Yeah, we do. Yeah. So I got involved. I really wanted to be involved for a while on a volunteer basis. My background before I got into yoga therapy full time was working in the nonprofit sector in the UK. And then when I moved back to Canada, in Canada, and I always, there's just something incredible about being a volunteer within that an organization where you're not a paid staff member. So you're doing it because of the love of what you're doing. And also you have this passion that's driving you that's just different when you're doing it on a volunteer basis. And I had, so I'd wanted to do it for a while, but I had a kid that was really young and I was running a school and a yoga therapy studio and I had very little bandwidth. And then as my kid got to a certain age and I had a little bit more time, I thought, okay, this is where I want to put some of my energy to. And what I've really found with it is this community. Like I've really found friends and support so that I feel a little bit less on an island. I know I'm actually on an island, but like physically. But as your director of a yoga therapy school, you also feel on an island, and I feel very much less so now.
Speaking to you from someone also on an island.
Yes.
I understand. I understand what you mean. But that's
Yeah.
a strong point, because usually when people are doing work and they are compensated financially, I mean, part of it is also the financial aspect, but when you're volunteering, yeah, you are heavily driven by that passion. So thank you so much. And Julie.
I would echo a little bit of what everybody else has already said. I wanted to join as a volunteer because I wanted to learn more about our profession, and I wanted to be part of the organization so that I could perhaps provide a bridge between our program and the professional organization that underlies our credentialing. And so I wanted to be able to be as educated as I could be about our profession. And it's been very exciting the way that it's unfolded, because I recognize that we are just still in the process of building a profession, and it's a long process. So I've learned so much about that, and just being able to give something back. It's one thing to just be a member and read the quarterly Yoga Therapy Today and just kind of hang out, but I wanted to do a little bit more than that. And this committee has been wonderful. And I will echo what Jules says about it's been wonderful friendships that have developed.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I agree. And we, in addition to the town halls that we hold online, there's a annual meeting of schools, which we'll tell you about in a little bit. But that is both in person and online. And it is just like a coming together of friends when we gather and put on that meeting. It's really special. And not only the committee members, but the member schools and the representatives who attend the meetings. Yeah. You really feel that connection. So I'm going to ask another question here. And I'm not going to specifically call on anybody, but I'll let you kind of chime in as you feel inspired to answer. Does anyone want to share, what do you feel are some of the biggest challenges and opportunities facing yoga therapy schools today? Is there anyone that feels inclined? Yeah, Christy, great.
Yeah, I think one of the really big challenges is helping them find jobs and giving them the confidence to either build their business or go out in search of, who's going to hire them. And because it's inroads, it's making cold calls. It's explaining what yoga therapy is. So I think that's, if we can help our students with that, and the IAYT can help with that, I think that would be tremendous.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I want to chime in if I can. I think something that's both an opportunity and a challenge is the somewhat new learning environment that we found ourselves in, especially post-COVID. I think that being able to that this mass expansion of online training is fantastic because it reaches so many more people. And at the same time, I see it as a great challenge to maintain the quality of the education that we provide in a profession where we are very much relying on being able to see somebody in their body in person and to connect with them in an energetic way, if I can, use that kind of terminology. So for me, that stands as a huge opportunity, and also a challenge.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, definitely being able to like deliver like a heart-centered approach when you are in a less personal setting, you know, online, but being able to make it personal like that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Any other thoughts on challenges or opportunities?
Yeah, you know, Julian, what you were saying about online learning, this is a huge discussion that we're having, you know, really every module that we teach. And it's like there's this real pluses and minuses, sort of like mountains and valleys that we're finding. One is that it's made training so much more accessible. You know, the vast majority of our students, for example, are in North America, but the vast majority actually are in Canada.
Mhm.
And the geography of this country is that it's this massive swath of land with many people in rural communities,
Right.
but very few people. So larger
Mhm.
geographically than the US, but like tiny, tiny percentage of
Mhm.
people. So whereas our students used to have to leave their lives to come and study
Right.
on this island with us, they can now study from home. And along with that is this whole skill set of how do you create those more personal connections online? Like, how do you even do, you know, if you're doing a postural assessment, for example, like something quite
Right.
physical, how do
Right.
you work with someone to
Mhm.
have them position their camera and then you can position yours? It's so like it's this complete extra bit of the curriculum that we never had before and we're developing as we go, which is exciting.
Yeah.
And also, I feel like another opportunity for us all to get together, and we have done with the member schools committee, to see like, what are you doing? What are you doing over there? What can we learn from you? Because we're all learning it
Right.
together. Yeah,
Right.
yeah. So I totally echo
It's,
on the
it's
online stuff for
teaching
sure.
it's teaching a skill, and then it's teaching how to use that skill in the virtual world.
You got it.
It's two things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, in many ways, like learning yoga therapy itself, right? So we teach
Yeah.
our students to embody the practices first,
Right.
and then they have to go on and teach others how to embody, which are two different skill sets.
Right.
So I see a lot of kind of overlap between that. Hmm.
Yeah.
And to speak on the accessibility piece, and I'll speak from experience based in Barbados, because I wanted to embark on a program, but I couldn't join at the point in time because I would have had to pick up and leave my life. And then there's like the very real um, understanding the exchange rate. So I'm also talking from
Yes.
financial perspective. So like my dollar is to the US dollar. So it is very expensive
Yeah.
to
Yes.
pick up and then move and just fund everything. So
Yeah.
being able to do that from here, because I did eventually start the program, and being able to do that from here, like I really appreciate. I'm glad everyone came together and figured out how we could do this, that I could still continue and do my work
Yeah.
and then also embark on the program. So you are allowing people like around the world, you know, to become a part of this. So that accessibility with the online was
Hmm.
quite important for me.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah, and for us, the scheduling has been
Oh my gosh.
so
Yes.
flexible.
Yeah.
You know, we can change it around. We can make it really personal. You know, it's just made it in that sense so much easier
Hmm.
and much more accessible.
Hmm.
Mhm. Mhm.
But miss that in person.
It is true. You do miss a bit of that. I
Yeah.
must confess. There's nothing quite, even when I get to go up to Satar and I see my colleagues because we work remotely. But when I get
Yeah.
there and I can like, you know, sit and literally have breakfast with someone or have an in-person chat, like
Yeah.
that energy, you just there's just nothing that can like duplicate that, you know. So yeah, you know, I understand. Wins and
Yes.
focus over here.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So I'd like to tell you briefly about our events. I mentioned the town halls. We have one coming up on February 26th. It's our first town hall of the year. And what we typically do is we choose a topic that we begin the year with, and then we expand on that topic into our next town hall, going into the meeting of schools, which I mentioned is the annual in-person and online meeting that happens in conjunction with IAYT's SITAR conference in June. This year we're going to be in Atlanta. So I'd like to hear from a few of you here, if you wouldn't mind just talking about why it's important for member schools and representatives of schools to attend the town hall. What can they expect out of that?
Yeah, I'll go. I think all the town halls give an opportunity for you to get to know new people. We always have both large group discussions and then small group discussions. And so you get this overview of what's happening kind of with the organization overall, as well as what's happening in like the current topics in yoga therapy. What are the hot button topics? And then we always get this opportunity to go into these smaller rooms and really have these deeper discussions with each other. I've made some incredible connections with schools who are doing, for example, similar work to me, but in a totally different place that I never would have met the directors or the faculty members had I not attended something like a town hall.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I would go ahead, Christy.
I was just going to say, building on what Jules was saying, just the support that you get and the support that you feel when you reach out and you have these connections with other schools and the school leaders, and you get to know people, and then you have people you can ask questions of and reach out to if you're having an issue. And so I think feeling that support is really important.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think that as far as the committee goes, we exist to serve the schools. And so we need the schools to attend so that we can learn what is going on in the broader community and in the broader across the world, really. Most of our attendees are usually from the Americas, at least, and these time zones. So we do have a little challenge with international stuff, but the town hall is crucial for the committee to do its work. So we absolutely want as many people who have to do with running a school program to come to be at the town hall. If they can't attend live, we usually have a recording, and they can always reach out and send messages and emails and questions and suggestions.
Yeah, what I'd like to add here as well is that in a world that feels like it's pushing so heavily with individualism and stuff like that, it's really important to recognize that we are stronger together in community. So understanding that if we're going to move forward, if we're going to develop, it really is all of us coming together. And that's why it's important for people to show up. And I love the point that was made where it's like you have to hear from the community. You have to get that flow of information coming from the community, all the different little pockets to help you understand what's happening here. And then we all hear this together. We assimilate that information and we figure out together how then do we move forward. It's very difficult to do things on your own, like collective knowledge. This is why we have democracy and all these kind of things. It's supposed to be better together. So yes, I think it's important we show up to the town hall.
Yeah, we always hear feedback that, of the ideas that are shared, and schools learn how other schools are handling challenges and being creative and I think it's really, really helpful. I think it's a really great benefit for IAYT's member schools to learn from each other. Absolutely. Is there any other comments, or do we have any questions? I'm not seeing anything yet, but we'll see if something comes in. But yeah, if you are part of an IAYT member school, if you're a faculty or staff member, we really hope to see you at our town hall. It is February 26th at 1 p.m. Eastern time. It's a space to connect, ask questions, stay informed, and you can keep an eye on our social media and newsletters for registration details. And
Kelly,
yes.
can you just double check that time? 1 p.m. Eastern or 4 p.m. Eastern?
Nope, 4 p.m. Eastern. That was my typo. I'm in the Pacific time zone, so it's 4 p.m. Eastern, but it's 1 p.m. for me. Thank you so much for catching my mistake, Julie. Yes, and thank you all of you for joining today and sharing your insights. And thank you to everyone watching on social media, whether you're watching this live or the replay. And thank you for being part of the IAYT community. We look forward to seeing many of you at the town hall, and you can watch the recording if you missed that. I'd also like to invite you, if you're watching here, you may be on LinkedIn or Facebook, Instagram. You can connect with us on Instagram. The handle is at IAYTORG. On Facebook, we are facebook.com IAYT.org. LinkedIn, you can search for International Association of Yoga Therapists. YouTube is at IAYTORG. We also have private groups on Facebook. There is one for IAYT's member schools that's open to faculty and staff of a member school, and IAYT certified yoga therapists, and that is open to members who are credentialed as CIAYTs with IAYT. On LinkedIn, you can search International Association of Yoga Therapists. That is our group. Whether you're a member or not, we invite you to stay in touch by subscribing to our e-newsletter, and you'll find any updates, news, current events on yoga therapy. We also have a website for the public, and that is yogatherapy.health, where you can read our blog. And I would like to thank you all so much for your time. And we appreciate that you have chosen to spend yours with us this afternoon. Have a lovely rest of the day. Thank you for being here. And we look forward to seeing you at our next live stream next month.
Bye, everyone.